As you know, Pete Carroll has been hired to be the head coach of the Las Vegas Raiders, and a few days ago he had his first official press conference as the Raiders head coach. It was like all press conferences, with smiling, high-fiving, and excitement. Oh, then there's the questions. Of course, Carroll has a staff to fill out, and he was asked about it, and as head coaches often do, he gave us an answer that told us nothing. He said some guys that have been here for the sake of continuity, some he's worked with before and some he hasn't worked with, so he can teach him his way. He obviously didn't mean for that answer to tell us anything. However, he immediately went to work on that staff, and it's starting to form up now. From the names we see as hires and potential hires, we can kind of see what Carroll was talking about. We got some good news as far as defensive coordinator goes. Patrick Graham is staying after it looked like he was as good as gone. I have no idea what happened, but when the Raiders tried to sign him to an extension before the season, he turned it down. Then when the season ended, he proceeded to look for jobs as head coach and defensive coordinator. I don't know what that tells you, but it tells me he wasn't looking to come back to the Raiders. Every coach wants to be a head coach, but offering your services as a defensive coordinator is different. I didn't hear of anyone offering Graham a job anywhere. Someone might have, but it didn't appear Graham was coming back either way. Carroll must have been talking about Graham as far as bringing some guys back for continuity goes. So what did Carroll do? What does he do best? He recruited him, and now Graham's back. I'm not going to sit here and act like Graham is Buddy Ryan after putting the '85 Chicago Bears defense together, but I see potential. I thought he did pretty well with all the injuries he had and all the times the offense turned the ball over. What I really want to see is what he can do with the healthy Raider defense. Carroll's holding on to special teams coordinator Tom McMahon, too. I can't help but wonder if he's the guy Carroll was talking about when he said he's going to keep something to teach his way to. The Raiders were mediocre on special teams with McMahon in charge last year. Carroll probably didn't know of anyone that was unsigned that he'd feel more comfortable with. The Raiders were 4th in the league in net punting average, but led the league in getting their punts blocked. They were number 3 in kick return average allowed and didn't give up any touchdowns. In the return game, the Raiders were number 5 in kick return average, number 8 in returns for 40 yards or more, and only had 1 fumble. In punt returns, they were middle of the pack. They were number 16 in punt return average and 17 in returns of 20 yards or more. The Raiders were number 16 in field goal percentage, had a long of 54 yards, and didn't have any blocked. This to me is part of the Raiders special teams that was so disappointing. Daniel Carlson is way too good of a kicker to be middle of the pack in field goal percentage. Some work definitely needs to be done there. It looks like Carroll's getting the band back together on offense. The leading candidate to be the offensive coordinator is Darrell Bevell, his offensive coordinator with the Seattle Seahawks back in the day. Someone will poop on this move because of one bad play call in the Super Bowl over 10 years ago. For those that forgot, he's the one that made the call for then Seahawks quarterback Russell Wilson to throw the ball at the 1-yard line at the end of the game. Of course, the result was an interception and the New England Patriots winning their 6th Super Bowl. He was the offensive coordinator for 2 Super Bowls and won one of them with a young Russell Wilson though. He developed a 3rd-round pick into a Super Bowl winner. Yes, it would have been 2 if he didn't make that bad call, but still, he did something in this league, and of course he learned from that moment. He's been the Detroit Lions and Jacksonville Jaguars offensive coordinator and passing game coordinator of the Miami Dolphins as recently as last year since then. I'm pretty sure he learned a thing or two from Mr. Boy Wonder and Mike McDaniel, too. I'm not saying he's going to set a bunch of offensive records with the Raiders, but let's give him a chance if he is indeed hired. Oh, I gotta mention defensive line coach Rob Leonard is staying. He was actually in the mix to take Graham's place if he left among other places, but thank goodness he's staying. Having those 2 stay just made me relax on what could possibly happen with star edge rusher Max Crosby. Jim John Spytek's first order of business should be adding some guaranteed money to his contract. It'll be nice to see what Graham can do with guys like Crosby, Wilkins, and Jacorian Bennett healthy all year. We can't call it a done deal till it's a done deal, but I believe Bevell is on his way. Could they finish getting the band back together with Russell Wilson? Sure, but they don't have to. Bevell shows he's good with young quarterbacks. Thank you for watching. See you next time.